I always knew my family saw me as the responsible one, but I didn't realize that in their minds, responsible meant free labor who should never complain. Every family event, every gathering, every trip, they always assumed I'd stay behind and look after my younger cousins or my sister's kids. I never argued. I just thought I was helping. Until the day they showed me exactly how little they valued me. It started when I overheard my mom on the phone. She was laughing while confirming hotel bookings. At first, I thought she was planning a weekend getaway with her friends. But when she mentioned my dad, my brother, my sister, and even the kids, my stomach sank. It was a family trip. Everyone was invited, everyone except me. Still, I tried to tell myself maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe they forgot to tell me. Maybe my name was on the list too. But when I walked into the living room that evening, reality slapped me harder than I expected. My sister was helping her kids pack tiny swimsuits and floaties. My brother was talking about beach games. My dad was comparing travel routes. Everyone was buzzing with excitement. No one even bothered to hide it. So, when is the trip? I asked quietly. My mom didn't look up from folding clothes. Oh, honey, I didn't think you'd want to come. You know how busy you always are. Busy. They never even asked. My sister chimed in. Yeah, and besides, someone needs to stay home with the kids for 2 days. You're the best with them. I blinked, confused. What kids? She smiled as if she was doing me a favor. Mine. And Chris's kids. We figured you'd watch them. They love you, so it'll be easy. I stood completely still for a moment. The room was loud with their excitement, but inside me, everything went silent. They hadn't forgotten to invite me. They had purposely excluded me so I could babysit. They wanted a vacation. They wanted fun. And they wanted me to sacrifice, like I always did, without a word. Why didn't anyone tell me? I finally asked. My dad shrugged. We didn't want to overwhelm you. And honestly, you're better off here. You don't enjoy crowds. I stared at him. When did I ever say that? He didn't answer. My sister rolled her eyes. Oh, don't be dramatic. It's just babysitting. You love spending time with them. I did, but loving the kids didn't mean I existed solely to take care of them. They all went back to their preparations, dismissing me like my feelings were irrelevant. Something inside me snapped, not loudly, not angrily, but cleanly like a rope that had held too much for too long. I realized they didn't see me as part of the family. They saw me as a convenience. For the first time, I decided I wasn't going to play along. I waited until the night before the trip. My mom came into my room to hand me a list of instructions, feeding times, nap times, emergency numbers, allergies. She didn't even ask if I agreed. She simply assumed. It's only 2 days, she said. You'll be fine. I looked at the list and then at her. No, I said clearly. She frowned. No what? I'm not babysitting. Her expression twisted like she had heard something impossible. Don't be ridiculous. We already made arrangements. The kids are expecting to stay with you. That's not my problem, I said, voice steady. I'm not staying behind while all of you enjoy a trip I wasn't even invited to. She tried to guilt trip me immediately. Stop acting selfish. We've already packed. The kids will be heartbroken. I met her eyes. They wouldn't be heartbroken if you planned like responsible parents. She stood there stunned, as if the idea of me refusing anything was unbelievable. She left the room sputtering angry words under her breath. The next morning was chaos. Bags by the door, kids excited, adults impatient. My sister approached me with forced sweetness. Okay, we'll be back Sunday evening. They've already eaten breakfast. I said no, I repeated. I'm leaving. Her smile vanished. Leaving where? Anywhere that's not here. They all looked at me like I had destroyed their world. They panicked. My brother tried to negotiate. My dad shouted. My mom pleaded. But I simply grabbed my bag, walked out, and closed the door behind me. For once, they would finally see what life looked like without me cleaning up their messes. I left the house without looking back, but my phone buzzed nonstop. My sister was calling first, then my mom, then the family group chat exploded with frantic messages. They were supposed to leave for the trip in 2 hours, but without their built-in babysitter, everything fell apart instantly. I ignored the calls as I sat in a cafe across town, drinking a peaceful cup of coffee, the kind of peace I never had at home. I watched the steam rise from my mug and felt a strange mix of relief and anger. For years, my entire identity in their eyes had been the caretaker, the helper, the one who never asked for anything and always said yes. The more I thought about it, the clearer things became. I didn't owe them my time, my energy, or my life. After 2 hours of silence from me, they finally realized I wasn't bluffing. My sister sent a long voice note, her tone swinging between fake sweetness and irritation. Please, just do this one thing for us. We really need this trip. You know how exhausted I've been. You love the kids. Come on, don't ruin this. Then my mom, stop being dramatic. Come home right now so we can drop off the children. We're already running late. Then my dad, if you think this childish attitude will get you sympathy, it won't. Grow up and come do what you're supposed to do. I put the phone on silent and took another sip of coffee. Meanwhile, at home, reality was sinking in. Without me, someone had to watch the kids. My brother didn't want to stay. My sister refused. My mom insisted she wasn't sacrificing her relaxation after months of stress. Arguments broke out. Voices rose. Accusations flew. I wasn't there to pick up the pieces anymore. 2 hours later, my brother finally called. I answered, not because I cared about their plans, but because I wanted to hear the desperation I knew would be in his voice. His tone cracked with tension. Where are you? We're still waiting. Just come watch the kids. We'll make it up to you. Make it up to me how? I asked calmly. He hesitated. We'll bring you something from the trip. I almost laughed. A souvenir. After years of being treated like a servant. No, I said. He lost patience. You're unbelievable. How can you do this to us? How could you do this to me? I replied. You planned a family trip without me, expected me to stay home unpaid and uninvited, and didn't even ask. That's what's unbelievable. Before he could respond, I hung up. I spent the rest of the day wandering around town, enjoying the freedom. I ate at a new restaurant, walked through a park, even visited a bookstore. Every minute away from them felt like oxygen filling my lungs for the first time in years. But back at home, things were taking a hilarious turn. With no one willing to stay behind, they tried taking the kids with them. The kids were loud, hyper, and excited. Packing their toys, snacks, and clothes took another hour. Then one kid spilled juice inside the car. Another started crying. Someone forgot diapers. Someone else forgot sunscreen. My sister freaked out because her perfect hotel schedule was now ruined. They still tried to leave, determined to salvage their trip. 10 minutes into the drive, the youngest kid vomited from excitement and motion sickness. Trip cancelled. My phone buzzed again, this time with a message from my mother so angry it barely made sense. Are you happy now? Everything is ruined. I stared at the message for a long moment, then calmly wrote back. You ruined it yourselves by treating me like a tool instead of family. That simple sentence sparked an even bigger meltdown. But I didn't respond again. That night, I checked into a small budget hotel for a solo mini vacation. I ate dinner in bed, watched a movie, and slept with no interruptions, no responsibilities, no noise. Meanwhile, at home, chaos reigned. My parents scolded my sister. My sister blamed my brother. The kids were restless and cranky. No one could relax. No one could sleep. For the first time, they experienced a life they had always dumped on me. And they hated it. The next morning, my dad finally sent a different kind of message, not angry, not demanding, but quiet and short. We need to talk. I knew exactly what that meant. They were finally realizing what losing me actually felt like. I didn't rush home when my dad said we needed to talk. For once, I let them wait. I enjoyed the hotel breakfast, took a long walk, and let myself breathe in a way I never could in that house. It was almost noon when I finally returned. The moment I walked through the door, the tension hit me like a wall. My sister's kids were running around screaming, toys scattered everywhere, dishes piled up in the sink, and my parents looked like they hadn't slept at all. So this was what life looked like without their personal babysitter. My mom was the first to speak. She looked exhausted, hair messy, eyes dark. Why did you leave us like that? She asked, voice trembling between anger and humiliation. I took off my shoes calmly. Why did you leave me out of the trip? My dad sighed heavily and motioned for me to sit. I didn't. I wanted them to feel uncomfortable for once. He rubbed his forehead. Look, maybe we handled it wrong. But you know your sister needs rest. She depends on you. I looked at my sister, who was sitting on the couch scrolling her phone as if none of this concerned her. She doesn't depend on me. She exploits me. There's a difference. My sister scoffed. Oh please. You're making it sound like we enslave you. Do you even hear yourself? I asked. You planned a trip without me and still expected me to give 2 days of my life to babysit your kids for free. That's not family. That's using someone. My mom bristled. We raised you. You owe us. That sentence hit harder than anything else. Not because it was true, but because it revealed exactly how they saw me. Not as a person, as debt repayment, as service, as obligation. I took a deep breath. I don't owe you my freedom, my time, or my life. Helping occasionally is one thing. Being expected to sacrifice everything, that's another. My dad stood up, trying to regain authority. So what do you want from us? An apology. I want respect, I said. And boundaries. The room fell silent. My sister finally put her phone down. Fine, she snapped. What boundaries? I'm not your babysitter, I said plainly. If you need someone, you hire someone. You don't volunteer me without asking. You don't assume I'll stay home while you have fun. If you invite everyone, you invite me too. And if you don't want to invite me, then you handle your responsibilities yourselves. My sister rolled her eyes, but my parents glanced at each other. They knew I meant it. They also knew they had no backup plan. I was done being the safety net. My dad cleared his throat. All right, we understand. He didn't sound happy, but he sounded defeated, and that was enough for me. But I wasn't finished. I'm moving. Out soon, I said, watching their expressions shift from discomfort to shock. I already started looking at places. My mom panicked instantly. You can't leave. Who will help around the house? Who will watch the kids when needed? Not my problem, I answered. I need my own life, and I'm finally choosing it. My sister stood up, anger twisting her face. You're abandoning us. You abandoned me the moment you planned a family trip without me, I replied calmly. I'm just returning the favor. The house went quiet again, but this time it wasn't the silence of anger, it was the silence of realization. They had finally seen the consequences of their selfishness. I went to my room, packed a small bag, and made arrangements to stay at my friend's place temporarily. My parents watched me with a mix of guilt and fear, and my sister looked like she wanted to argue but knew she had no ground left. As I walked out the door, my dad spoke quietly. Take care, and we'll do better. I nodded. For your sake, I hope so. Because I'm not coming back unless things change. I stepped outside, the air fresh and freeing. For the first time in years, I felt untethered, no responsibilities weighing on me, no expectations suffocating me, no guilt holding me back. I wasn't the family babysitter anymore. I wasn't the background character. I wasn't the one they could push aside. I finally chose myself. And as they stood in that messy house, overwhelmed and struggling, they realized something important. Life without me wasn't easier.